everyone, and welcome on back to another episode. Today, I am going to do my top 10 best movies of 2019 to wrap up the year, to wrap up the decade. And we got some good ones, so strap in and be ready for the 10th movie on the list. Number 10, Lion King. Now, I gotta be honest, I almost put this on the bad list, but only for one reason. It's just the same as the animated one. Now, here's the thing. Even if it is basically the same as the animated one, with slightly different changes, I can't put it on the worst list because I really love the original Lion King. It's one of my favorite animated films of all time. So if that one's good, and this one is just essentially this, with just like a slightly different, a few different twists, I really can't put it on the bad list. And honestly, I like some of the changes. Like, they added a new song that I completely love, and is actually my favorite of the soundtrack. And obviously, the visuals are absolutely amazing. You can't say that the CGI is not great. It is phenomenal. I still don't know how they did some of the shots they did. Obviously, directed by Jon Favreau, he did an amazing job at this film. And honestly, if he would have just been given like a tiny bit more freedom to do something original, or to just do a different animal movie, it probably would have been great. Or even do a sequel to the original Lion King, which I know they already did, but do a live-action one or something. It would have been really good. I feel like just redoing the same thing kind of puts you in a very narrow, what you're able to do as a filmmaker, and I don't feel like it was really necessary, which is why it's at the very bottom of this list, but I have to put it on the list, and it is pretty good, because at the end of the day, I really did enjoy this film, and I definitely would rewatch it again. Coming in at number 9 is another remake of a film. Disney, come on. But it is Aladdin. Now, this one actually really surprised me, because from the trailers, I thought I would absolutely hate this film based off the trailer, and I, pretty much before the movie came out, I had already put it on my top 10 worst list, because it just looked so bad. But it actually surprised me, and it ended up being better than the Lion King one, because even though it didn't do a whole lot different, it did do some things different, and I actually found myself more invested in that film than I did in the Lion King, only because I knew exactly what would happen in the Lion King. Aladdin changed things up a little bit more. Now, obviously, it's the same basic story, but at the end of the day, it's still really cool, and they even changed the entirety of the ending. I'm not going to go through exactly how it happened, but the climax is definitely different. They even added a whole new song, which pretty much reminded me of Let It Go from Frozen, which some people would say is a negative, but I really don't think so. I thought it was really good, and I actually, again, my favorite one on the soundtrack is the new one. Also, one of the songs in this one is pretty much just the original. They even got the original voice actor to come sing it because the new guy couldn't sing it very well. And obviously, the elephant in the room is Will Smith's Genie, which I actually really loved. Now, I'm not going to say he's better than Robin Williams. He's not, but I do think he's pretty good, and I think he actually sings better, too. Don't kill me! Number 8 on my list, Shazam, the DC film. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. It had some unique twists. It was definitely the best DCEU film I think I've probably ever seen. It actually had a good climax, which is why I'm saying that. Some of the CGI is a tad bit spotty, but oh well. At the end of the day, I would definitely rewatch it again. I don't really have a lot to say on this one, just because there's not a whole lot to say without kind of spoiling it. I don't really want to, and also, it feels a lot like a Marvel film made by DC, which is not, which some people is going to say is a bad thing. It's really not. It's more lighthearted than the other ones, but it has more of a this is how the character should have been. And honestly, I feel like this is way better than if they would have just made it in the same style of Batman v Superman or something. Coming in at number 7 is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which is the sequel to the 2014 one. I actually had this one originally at number 6, but I had to bump it down one because I had to rearrange some stuff, which just shows you how hard this list was to make. The bottom 3, the ones I just listed, were kind of easy to slid in because I kind of knew exactly what I wanted to do with them. But the rest of this list, I really had to flip-flop around because it could have gone either way, but I put this one here because at the end of the day, it still has too many cuts back from the monsters fighting to the humans, and the human story, while not terrible, is kind of boring and it's not quite as good as the original. Also, the CGI in this film, obviously it all looks really good, it's just some of it is hidden by really bad weather. Which is, in the dark, which is, how they make CGI look better, especially when you don't have the hugest budget, but I feel like it just didn't look as good as the original 2014 one. Even I don't know, it just felt like Godzilla moved too fast, and it made him feel almost like cartoonish, he didn't have the weight that he had in the first one. But at the end of the day, I really did enjoy this film, and I would definitely watch it again. I even have the Blu-ray now, so yeah, that's something. And I will absolutely watch it again. Again, I absolutely do not hate this film. That's why it's on the best list. I just feel like I had it, you know, there are just so many movies this year that were pretty good. I just had to slit this one down just a little bit. Number 6 is Frozen 2. I actually recently saw this one, which might make me a little bit biased, because I just saw it, like, yesterday. Now, I typically tend to either hate a movie or really like it when it first comes out, and then my opinion kind of shifts a little bit towards the middle. Now, obviously, there might be some plot holes, and obviously it's very, you can tell, you know exactly what's going to happen in the film as soon as something happens, because it's very predictable, because it is obviously a Disney Child's film. But it's still really good. The animation is absolutely fantastic. The voice acting is really, really good in this one. I laughed several times, surprisingly. It's actually a very funny film, but it also can be deep when it wants to be. And, speaking of which, the songs are amazing. I'm not even joking. The first ones was good, but I can only really remember 2 off the top of my head. I remember, even though I just saw it yesterday, I already remember 4 or 5 of the new ones, and I absolutely love them, and I'm going to download it, and I really want to get the soundtrack of the film because it's really great, and I feel like the main song in this one is maybe even better than Let It Go. In fact, I would say it is. Coming in at number 5 is Toy Story 4. Another one that I kind of was, like, immediately not liking. The trailers I absolutely hated. I thought it was stupid that they were making a 4th one. The 3rd one was a perfect ending. Until the 4th one was a perfect ending. It has a very good message, which is honestly the number one thing I'm looking for in a Toy Story film, whether or not the message is good or not. It's an absolutely good, great message. I felt like it was gonna, like, you know, like, we already had a Toy Story ending. Do we really need another film? I don't think it's necessary, maybe, but I think it is good that we have it. I feel like it's a good ending for a specific for Woody, who didn't really get a great ending. Like, all of the characters just kind of ended on themselves. We didn't really get a character arc for anyone. In this film, we kind of do. Now, there are some people that get pushed aside, and honestly, maybe it's not my favorite Toy Story film, but I might put it above the first one. Maybe. I don't know yet. But it is, nonetheless, a good movie. Coming in at number 4 is The Joker. This film was interesting. This was kind of around the time when a lot of things happened in my life, but the film was really good. Now, I just can't quite say that Joaquin Phoenix is better than Heath Ledger as the Joker. Not yet, anyway. I'm not sure. He didn't really get a great chance to show it, but this film is really, really good. The plot in this film is very intriguing. The writing is very good. The acting is absolutely phenomenal across the board. I really can't say anyone that I didn't love in the film as actors. It's shot absolutely beautifully. It is it's just pretty much a perfect Joker film without quite being a Joker film. The Joker really doesn't show up in his full form until kind of the very end, and I just wish we could have got that Joker throughout the whole film. But honestly, I'm very glad I sat through this one. It is a little bit long, especially if you don't like, it's kind of slow at first, so if you don't like that, it might not be the movie for you, but at the end, it really does pick up, and honestly, the thing about this one that makes it even better than, like, the other ones is that there is debate about whether or not anything that happened in this film is actually happened. When a film can get that much buzz around what is in it, rather than just straight up talking about the film's plot or whatever, when you can get so many people to wonder what's happening with, like theory-wise, it really gets a good buzz around the film, and the second one will enjoy even more success. And number 3 on my list is Spider-Man Far From Home. I really wanted to put this one number 2. I really, really, really wanted to put this number 1, too. But I just couldn't. Because there's a movie in number 2 that a lot of you are going to hate me for putting there, but I have to put it there because I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And Spider-Man Far From Home, it's just not quite as epic. But it is better than Homecoming, in my opinion. The visual effects are stepped up from Homecoming, even though I didn't really hate them in Homecoming. The story is more grandiose without being an Avengers-level threat, while still being entertaining. The film's actors, Tom Holland, absolutely phenomenal. Jake Gyllenhaal, probably my favorite MCU villain outside of Thanos for a very long time. it felt less sort of like every other Marvel film than, say, something like Captain Marvel. And honestly, the ending was absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see what they do in the third one. I'm very glad that they got back together and are doing a third one, because if Sony would have pulled that out, I would have been so mad that I might not have went to see the next one, because honestly, that would have really sucked. But I'm really glad to see what happens next, and I wouldn't put this any... I really can't say it's bad. I might even bump it to number 2 with more viewings of the second film. But right now, it's staying on number 3. And my number 2 film of the year is something that is there's gonna be some fire under me for this one. And that is Star Wars Episode 9. Please don't kill me. Look, I don't get it. I really don't understand why people don't like the Disney Star Wars films. Say The Force Awakens is a lot like A New Hope. I agree. Is it a ripoff? No, but I do agree that it is very similar, and I can understand if you maybe don't want to watch it because it's too much like the original. I can at least understand that. Episode 8, I do understand, has, you know, that whole subplot with Finn, which honestly does drag down the film the more times I watch it. And honestly would rather just cut it out of the film and watch it that way, because I really don't hate the rest of it. In fact, I kind of really like the rest of it. And one of my favorite movie scenes of 2017, or maybe ever, was that Yoda scene in Last Jedi. I absolutely loved it. But then this one came out, and I wanted to wait on reading the reviews until I saw the film to get my own opinion and not know what everyone was going to say, even though I kind of already knew. I knew everyone wasn't going to like it just because it's a Disney Star Wars film, and that's what the trend has been. But I really just wanted to take a step back, watch the film, and then look at the reactions. And I swear that I saw a different film than everyone else on the universe, apparently, because everyone hates this film. They all say it's really bad. They all say it kills Anakin's character and his arc throughout the films, which it didn't. In my opinion, I can see an argument for that one specifically, but some of the other things are just stupid. Like, they say the pacing is really bad. No, it's not. It's just fast. There's a difference, and I don't really want to dive into every single critique that people have made about this film, because I really want to make my own video kind of defending it, but that is a video for another day. I really did like this film, and I really don't understand why people don't. It's very good. I think it's a great ending to the Skywalker saga. The only really thing I don't like about it, there are a few weird lines and stuff, but other than that, the very surface level stuff that I can get over very easily. The really only real critique I have of it is the name. I'm sorry, the title is just stupid. Rise of Skywalker is a very bad name. It should have been The Last Order, which I've said multiple times in the film, and honestly, that would have been way cooler anyway. But nonetheless, I really did like this film, and I really want to hear what you guys think, because I swear I saw a different movie than everyone else. And it's not even me being biased towards Disney. Really, I don't care. I really didn't like Solo. But I like this one. I don't know why, and I don't know if I just am stupid, or if I don't know. I really don't understand why people don't like this movie. I absolutely loved it, and I'm really sad that this is the last one in the Skywalker saga. And coming in at number 1, people are going to call me a fanboy again, but oh well. Again, I'm wearing a shirt that says Marvel, but I gotta give it to Avengers Endgame. I can't not. Everyone, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, people are like, Endgame is bad. It's not a good film. Infinity War is better. Maybe Infinity War is better as a film. Endgame is not bad. And there's no way, I cannot say Endgame is bad. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's epic in every way. There's really nothing that I would really cut out of the film. It's a 3-hour-long film, but it doesn't feel like that. It almost feels like 2 films in one. The ending part of the film, the big final fight, is huge. It takes, in most films, I would say it's too long in the climax. In this film, honestly, I would have had it a little bit longer. It's absolutely incredible, and I love every second of this film. The acting is absolutely phenomenal. The writing is mostly good. There are a few issues with the time travel or whatever, but honestly, every time travel film, you can pick to death about stuff like that. I really don't want to, because it's just great, and I really wouldn't want the saga. I really wouldn't want the entirety of the MCU to change at all just because of this last film. I absolutely loved it, and the ending, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but I'm pretty sure 100% of people who want to see it have seen it by now, and Avengers Endgame is absolutely incredible and absolutely deserves the title of the best movie of 2019. So see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye!